make you laugh, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. And people make you shout, oh yo yo.
Hello there.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀, làmọ̀ tó dodo.
Onyedu IPOB, omeriwo n'Ndizu, oniriwe ya abakare, mama dawora, unapori meri Nnamdi, Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2, now Python dance 3. Unapori meri Nnamdi, Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2. Now Python dance 3. Unapori meri Nnamdi. Nnamdi bụ Onyedu IPOB. Omeriwo n'Ndizu, ndiro ya abakare, mama ndawora. Unapori meri Nnamdi. Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2. Now Python dance 3. Unapori meri Nnamdi. Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2. Now Python dance 3. Unapori meri Nnamdi. Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2. Now Python dance 3. Unapori meri Nnamdi. Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1, Python dance 2. Now Python dance 3. Unapori meri Nnamdi. Nnamdi win the war. Python dance 1.
Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. This is Mayegun Live. Thank you very much for tuning in and joining us at this moment. Depends on the time you are joining. Please read the caption of the broadcast, the description of the broadcast. Like it, share it, invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell everybody that cares to know that Mayegun today. Nnamdi Kanu appeared in their courts today again, and he did just appear. He appeared by leaving us quotable quotes in front of the injustice Binta Iyako. You should share this broadcast. Thank you, Mutide. So, welcome to the brunch time with Mayegun. A supposed special edition that is featuring Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's, illegitimate trial in Nigeria. The man that Nigeria kidnapped. The man that Nigeria kidnapped nearly 3 years ago, because they said, in fact, kidnapping him, which actually violates the international treaties that Nigeria is part of, as being one of the reasons why he cannot be tried in Nigeria. I know a lot of money has been expended in the propaganda that makes some of you today, or maybe before now as well, kind of blame your miserable existence the miserable existence that the criminals in Nigeria has foisted on you. You blame that on Nnamdi Kanu, but it's all right. It's been more than 8 years now that they have been trying to shut him up, shut him down, even kill him, but they have not been able to, other than they have only succeeded in keeping him as a trophy. So today, Nnamdi Kanu appeared in front of the same culpable, Binta Nyako, and he kept his composure, he kept his sanity, and he appeared more audacious in front of the state-sponsored trial. And again, they couldn't really try him. So today, Nnamdi Kanu, which has become should I say Nnamdi Kanu's case, which has become a sort of a conduit pipe for those who are in the DSS holding him. They told us that it actually cost them over 500 million naira every time they have to bring Nnamdi Kanu out like that or bring him to their courts. And every time they bring him out, it all ends in stalemate. Stalemate in the sense that they are trying a man that is innocent of all charges, enough that he continued to defeat them in their own court. I have some of you who are pretty much a sworn enemy of Nnamdi Kanu, or sworn enemy of the IPOB, the people you blame for your miserable existence and the failed leadership that you have in Nigeria. Nnamdi Kanu was extraordinarily renditioned from Kenya by the Boko Haram government, who believes that Nnamdi Kanu and his IPOB, they are sort of a bit of a threat to the advancement of their Fulani jihadism, the Fulani jihad and the war on the rest of us that they call the infidels. They didn't say that to you before now, and some of you still don't know why they continue to kill the Igbos in Nigeria to cover up what their real intention is. So Nnamdi Kanu can't be tried in Nigeria courts. He got his case up to their Supreme Court, where even the Supreme Court of Nigeria was afraid to actually give justice. They agreed that the trial of Nnamdi Kanu is illegal, but they did not have the ball to let him go. So he was sent back to the trial court again. The woman who, for God knows why, or the agenda, why she insisted on sending an innocent man into gallows. They continue to change their charges every now and then, because we all know that the intention is not actually to try him for anything. The intention is to keep him away from the public and possibly kill him slowly. They haven't succeeded in any of this and keeping him away. But every time he appears in their courts, he appears larger than life. So today, before now, the Nigerian criminal system, or the Nigerian criminals that you call your legal system in Nigeria, right? They have been looking for all evidence to kind of, jail Nnamdi Kanu. Unfortunately, they've not been able to get any of those accusations stick. Apart from the trial in the media, as well as the sworn and paid mouthpieces to condemn, to condemn the IPOB of crimes that they didn't commit. Except for those, none of the allegations has been able to be proved in their own courts. None. So Nnamdi Kanu is being tried for what they call treason, treasonable felony. And treasonable felony, they're also trying him for, trying to break away from Nigeria. These two are not, the first one, so the second one is not illegal. To want to admit that you want to leave this contraption, you don't want to be part of it anymore. And then they make a move for a referendum and let the people decide if they still want to be part of this contraption or not. The second one, the first one, which is the treasonable felony, is just a make-up charges that they do not have any evidence of. So for those of you who have been following this case, this illegal trial, for years now, it is becoming more exhaustive and embarrassing as well. And this is why sometimes the offer they gave to him, they gave him an offer. The offer was that, could you please just stop the agitation for Biafra for, like, just stop it. If you promise us that you're going to stop the agitation and the demand for the referendum of the Biafrans out of the Igbos, especially from Nigeria, you will be allowed to go. They sent their Eastern politicians to talk to him. He didn't budge. They brought in some foreign diplomat or whatever to come and talk to him as well. He did not budge. Then they decided to just keep him by, but Nnamdi Kanu himself is a tough nut to crack. He is a very strong man, like nail. They say he's as strong as a nail, right? It couldn't be bent, it couldn't be broken. He's demanding for just one thing. He said, if you allow the Igbos to have a referendum in Nigeria and the Igbos vote to be part of Nigeria and not break away, he will walk away and you will never see him again. But if you think he's the one that should possibly get to stop the agitation for Biafra, that even if you kill him, it is never going to change the demand for the Biafra by the Igbos. In all of this, an innocent man has been locked up and we call him the prisoner of conscience. Today, Oyendu appeared in their court and we will go to that court today, among other things that happened. Ladies and gentlemen, again, this is also a message to those of you who probably gloat, masturbate in public every time Nnamdi Kanu's name is mentioned or IPOB is mentioned. You are quick to jump at it, to spread your falsehood and then propaganda and all the lies that they have told you. You are so kind of like quick to jump at those news. Some of you want him, you actually wanted him killed. Some said that they should lock the prison and throw the key away. But the thing is this, right? Nigeria is not better off. They've made your life more miserable. That Nnamdi Kanu, whether Nnamdi Kanu is out there or Nnamdi Kanu is in there, the criminals who are destroying Nigeria, they've made your life more miserable. A lot of you from northern Nigeria that you believed Nnamdi Kanu, they told you Nnamdi Kanu was a threat to you in northern Nigeria. Now you've come to realize that the real threat to you in northern Nigeria are those criminals parading themselves as your leaders in northern Nigeria. So Nnamdi Kanu has been in their detention for over 3 years, so to say now, right? However, your lives have been more horrible. Your region has been more like bloody. Your women, your children have been captured, raped, sold as slaves. Many of you and your villages have been ransacked, destroyed. More of your people are now living in IDP camp. Those who told you Nnamdi Kanu was a threat to Nigeria, they didn't tell you that they are the real threat to your lives. I am going to get to that part this afternoon. But first thing first, the arrival of Nnamdi Kanu in their court is larger than your court, is larger than your system, is almost like bigger than your country as we speak. You may not have to admit it, right? But this is the man you will want gone, but it's not going anywhere.
No problem, just about it.
Talk about out of court settlement, you wouldn't mind. So, has that made any progress towards that regard in terms of settlement?
My lawyer should be about to actually tell you that.
But you've been able to meet with them after that particular day.
Have you dealt with this very issue?
No.
Which one?
It has to be after court. We can talk about that. We're here for the judicial proceedings.
The political solution now. We are
going to visit you after the proceedings the last day.
Absolutely. We're here for the judicial proceedings.
Yes. We're here for the.
We can address the other one later.
We'll do that later. And we have written a letter to them now. They have not replied.
Okay, no problem.
No, they've not. Yes, they have not responded. I met with Attorney General. So what are the solution? The solution actually adopted by the Supreme Court. No. And most of them generally take time to go through some of these judgments and then come to the ruling. Go through all the rulings and the judgments. You know we have no case. Thank you very much.
Thank you. If
I'm a magician. I don't mind. No time. I gonna want federal government to me. Not frustrated, so that it will not be a good.
I don't understand. I have to
Bishop, at least I can see you.
yes, even though it's not it's still when it comes to you regularize when you feel this.
Don't block me. Don't block me. Don't block me.
Careful with what this guy is asking. My lawyer is going to be simple. Lawyers, right? Which one?
It has to be after court.
Which one?
We're here for the judicial process.
The political solution now, we are waiting for federal government.
We're here for the judicial proceedings.
And we have written a letter to them now, they have not replied. Oh, they have not replied? Yeah, they have not responded. I met with Attorney General at so what are you hiding? No. And what's the journalist? No. Take time to go through some of these documents and then come to the ruling. Look at the ruling on the document. You know, I gonna want federal government in it. Not frustrated, so that it will not be a good.
I don't understand. Yes. Sir?
Maxwell.
People without going to jail and suffering for them. It's normal. But my primary concern is to stop insecurity. And it's that it will stop. Once I come out, it will stop. And they know it. So those keeping me in detention are those that are either benefiting or profiting from this insecurity. That's all there is to it. Okay?
And he keep repeating that the insecurity in eastern Nigeria will stop the day I am out of this place. Those who are keeping me here are those who are benefiting or profiting from the insecurity that is now enveloping the eastern part of Nigeria. On the 27th of June, 2021, Boko Haram's government, through Malamu, they wrote a memo to the Interpol in Kenya, and they said they were looking for Nnamdi Kanu, and wherever they see him, they should hold him, because they had an intel that Nnamdi Kanu is in Kenya to meet with the deadly El Shabaab terrorist group in Kenya. Just like Nigeria suffers from Boko Haram's terrorism, Kenyans have been suffering from the terrorism of El Shabaab from Somalia. So immediately they got the wind of that memo. Nnamdi Kanu flew to Kenya, arrived in Kenya, booked himself in a place in Kenya, checked himself into the hospital in Kenya for a quick check, and then drove to the Kenya airport to pick up a friend that also arrived in Kenya around that time, was waylaid, ambushed by the Kenyan police, who grabbed him based on this fake intel from Nigeria. And then they held him, tortured him for straight 7 days. And it all ended as nothing. He wasn't in Kenya to meet anyone or any terror group or what have you. It was a fake intel. But around that time, it has become a diplomatic arrangement, a black op. That's a black operation, a dark operation, which was just to help them grab him. That same memo was not just for Kenya. It was for many other African countries around that time. This was over 3 years ago. So Kenya authority were like, we are so sorry. Even though they gave us this intel that you are here to meet with some terrorists in our country, but we found out that you are not. But we can't judge. Then it was like, okay, now that you have nothing on me, can you please let me go? So we are sorry, we can't just let you go. It seems that the Nigerian government is really, really interested in you. In fact, as we speak, there is a private jet from Abuja waiting on the Kenyan airport right now to take you to Nigeria. You are no longer our business anymore, and we are sorry. Whatever it is with you and the Nigerian authority is no longer in our hands. That was how Malamu and others organized the extraordinary rendition, which is the kidnapping of Nnamdi Kanu to Nigeria. What did they do? They drugged him, put him in a private jet, and flew him to Abuja. As he was arriving in Abuja, Muritala Nyako, the same woman, was waiting as directed by Malamu. Malamu as well has called the press to his own office as the Attorney General of Nigeria to tell them that yes, we've got him. We've gotten Nnamdi Kanu. Now let me roll it back a bit, just for the sake of those who are interested in knowing the whole truth around this. Apart from the other propaganda you probably have heard, or the one you have been fed many times over and over and over again. IPOB, full meaning of Indigenous People of Biafra, is a non-violent, peaceful self-determination campaign or self-determination advocacy group. Non-violent, peaceful self-determination advocacy group known to more than 180 governments in the world. Talking about 180 countries in the world. However, they were a primary threat, not just to the Fulani terrorists, but to the Igbo politicians, Igbo elite. IPOB was so successful that people were actually walking about with their IPOB membership identification. It's not a secret. It's not a violent. It's not a terror or anything group. The Igbo political class, Igbo governors, Igbo elites, they felt threatened because around that time, the only